Hello and welcome back to the triumphant return of the Sometimes Daily Show. Hopefully this week we can be a lot more daily and a lot less sometimes. I'm Philip Edwards.
And I'm Michael Palmer, and today we've got an amazing story for you, full of twists and surprise cameos. Let's get right into the tale of Brandon Popovich, ex-lead designer of Kana.
This all comes from an interview Popovich had with VGC. Popovich claims that in 2016 he was hired by Ember Lab as a contractor, where his role included creating the initial prototype for the game, teaching the animators how to animate games, and he was given, quote, full reign to discuss and implement ideas with the animators, end quote.
That may sound like a lot for one man, but hold on, it's only going to get more wild. He claims that during the move from the original Unity prototype to Unreal Engine, only some very basic animations could be saved. Everything else had to be made from scratch. This led to him rebuilding the core components, everything from movement to attacks. Popovich also claims that he was the creator of the Rot, the cute spirit army that Kana uses to solve puzzles.
During this time, the studio was going through financial difficulties. Ember Lab is a small studio and they were making a big budget game without support from a publisher. This was bound to happen. To help ease this, many members of the team, including Popovich, took massive pay cuts or outright worked for free. They did this because they believed in the project and, more importantly, Ember Lab had been hinting that when they could, they would hire the contractors on full-time.
Full-time jobs in game development are incredibly rare. Most companies just hire and fire contractors. Now this is the part of the tale where Popovich claims he was maliciously forced out. 7 months after he was hired, Ember Lab, in the midst of financial difficulties, offered him a full-time contract. In a call with studio co-founder Mike Grier, Popovich was informed that it wouldn't be possible for him to receive a signing bonus. However, if he remained until the project's completion, he would receive a bonus. He would also be getting a smaller salary than he assumed, and he would not be receiving any shares in Ember Lab. This offer was less than he was willing to accept, and thus he declined.
That's it. That is what he claims is being maliciously forced out. If you couldn't tell from our wording, we here at the show are not picking up what he's putting down. So, now it's time for the other side of the story. VGC did contact Ember Lab for comment, and they received a pretty firm rebuttal of Popovich's claims.
Quote, Brandon's statement includes a number of false accusations that diminish the efforts of those who worked on the original Unity prototype and our talented team members who have worked so hard over the past 5 years. A game design document, character concepts, and a fully functioning Unity prototype, including the game's core mechanics, were developed prior to Brandon joining the project. Brandon was fully compensated for all of his work, which focused on migrating the features of the Unity prototype to an Unreal prototype using Unreal Engine 4 blueprints. None of the work developed for the Unreal prototype is currently being utilised in production. When it came time to build team for full development, we offered Brandon a position that he declined. We've been building our dream game together with the efforts of a very dedicated team, and we are saddened by these hurtful accusations. End quote. In a separate conversation with VGC, Ember Lab stated that Popovich's offer was, quote, above market value, end quote, and they were disappointed they were unable to reach an agreement. Popovich would also be fully credited for his work in the final game.
Now, you may be wondering, why are we siding with a company over an employee? If you've seen our Ubisoft coverage, then it should be apparent that we love to champion employee rights, and we hate it when these companies minimise their contributions. And that's how this story started when we started to research it. There are a few things that turned our opinion, and they're all choice quotes from Popovich himself. He claims that after 7 months of working on a project that, at this point, is almost 5 years old, he's responsible for 95% of the code. He was let go in January 2017, and he wants us to believe he is still responsible for 95%. In response to the unpaid work allegations Popovich made, Ember Lab responded by showing that they had provided animations for a side project Popovich was working on. That's how they compensated him, by also working for him for free.
The final nail in the coffin for us was when he said, quote, this was the project that was meant to make me a big deal and suddenly it was over, end quote. And, quote, I had hoped the game would never be announced or released, end quote. To us, this shows an incredibly selfish attitude. He didn't want to make an amazing game for people to enjoy. He didn't want to work together with the other grunts in the trenches. He wanted to be famous. He wanted to receive the same kind of recognition that Hideo Kojima and Todd Howard enjoy, something that is impossible for 99.9% of developers.
That's going to be it for today. Really hope you enjoyed the show. Hit that like and subscribe button and let us know in the comments what you think. Is this a tale of a salty ex-dev with delusions of grandeur? Or did we get it wrong and this guy got royally screwed by Ember Lab? Remember to check back tomorrow for another story? Yes, there will be another one tomorrow. I already have a backup story just in case nothing huge happens. So check back tomorrow, because if you don't, I'm going to go through all of your cupboards and replace all of your canned food with beans. What kind of beans, you ask? All the beans. So, see you tomorrow.